read Bismillah.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يعتبر السير في الماء يعتبر السير في البر، فأما المعتبر في البحر فما يليق بحاله كما في الجبل. قال فرق المسافر الرباعية ركعتان لا يزيد عليهما. قال الشافعي فرقه والقصر رخصة اعتبارا بالصوم، ولنا أن الشفع الثاني لا يقضى ولا يؤثر، وهذا آية النافلة بخلاف الصوم لأنه يقضى ويصلى أربعا، وقال الثانية قدر التشهد أجزأته الأوليان والأخريان له نافلة اعتبارا بالقصد، ويصير مسيئا لتأخير السلام وإن لم يفعل في الثانية بطل.
Okay, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. We discussed thus far. What we discussed was this here. We did doing the chapter of Babu Salat al Musafiri, the chapter of the Salat of a Musafir. We discussed thus far that you get two types of safar in Shariat. One is just traveling, and one is that traveling by which certain laws are changed. Like you don't have to fast, you can delay your fast to the time when you are not traveling. You don't have to make udhiyah. Um, you don't have to make udhiyah, and what else? Um, and also obviously the main one, which is most relevant and which is most applicable, is that you your salat will decrease from your 4 rakats. Salat will decrease from 4 rakats to 2 rakats, right? So last time we discussed that if you look at the hadith, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Nahmadu wa nasalli ala Rasul al-Kareem, that Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam spoke about making masa on the khuf. If you are traveler 3 days, and if you are muqim, then you can make masa on the khuf for 1 day. So from that we understand that in order to be a traveler also, you must travel at least 3 days distance, right? And then we told also discussed that the Arabs, they would travel from the morning till about more or less lunchtime. And then after time it would be rest because it would be very, very hot. They wouldn't be traveling the whole day. And then also we spoke uh, about moderate travel, moderate travel. So that's how the original quantity was. But then later they fuqaha, to make it easy, they fixed it at about there is a way they fix it. They how much travel they would travel there in that amount of time. So you in the original Islamic travel measurement was marahil or farasikh, and then that you converted it into the Shara'i mile, and from the Shara'i mile they then converted it into our kilometers. So that work is done, that research is available. In fact, this Shara I got here also exactly how you get it from 3 days, how it was measured into farasikh or marahil, and then into manzil, and then into Shara'i mile, and then from Shara'i mile into into exactly 73 kilometers. This also has been, it's in English also. If anybody's interested in that research, I can share to you if you want to see exactly. But okay, we won't go into that. The ulama have done that work for us, right? So we say then 3 days travel, then you are supposed to reduce your namaz, your salat, right, from 4 to 2. Then ولا يعتبر السير في الماء معناه لا يعتبر به السير في البر. فأما المعتبر في البحر فما يليق بحاله كما في الجبل. What is saying here in this ibarat, I'll tell you that if you are traveling by land, you will consider 3 days travel by land. If you are traveling by sea, you will consider the amount of distance you will cover in 3 days with moderate wind speeds. If you are traveling by mountainous terrain, then you will consider that, right? So what I'm saying is, if, for example, that you, if you there's 2 ways to go to a place, right? One is you're going to travel by land, you're going to go by foot, and you're going to go by camel, which is more or less the same. And there's another road by which you will go by ocean, for example, not by ocean, or even by a river, whatever. But that will take 2 days. So you will not confuse. You say, okay, that I'm traveling by ocean here, and by ocean I'm going to cover 3 days of land travel in 2 days. So then I will also make qasr, or vice versa. If you are traveling, that's where also this masla comes about. If they are from the Sweden, this must also is very applicable today. If there are several routes to the same place, you do not consider the route of as the crow fly, that's the state route. What you'll do is you will see the route you are traveling. I'll give you a simple example. You go from here in P, we go to Utenake, right? From here to Utenake is about 25, which is 30 kilometers, right? So if I want, I can travel from here straight to Utenake. I'm not a Musafir, right? But say, for instance, I was going to go to Humansdorp first, and from Humansdorp, I'm going to go to Utenake. So now, even though this distance as the crow flies is like 25 kilos, but I'm going to Humansdorp, or I'm going to Jeffreys Bay, and from Jeffreys Bay, I'm going to Utenake. Now, that distance that I'm going to travel there, it is the distance of 3 days of travel. It is over 73 kilometers, so we will consider that distance. We won't consider the distance that you are the potentially would have done. You consider the distance that you would actually travel. The same is saying, وَلَا يُعْتَبَرُ السَّيْرُ فِي الْمَاءِ, and the travel in water will not be considered. That what it means. معناه لا يعتبر بالسير في البر. And the travel of water will not be considered the land. So I told you, the route by river or by sea, it takes 2 days. And here by foot or camel is going to take you 3 days. So you don't pay attention to that. You don't pay attention to travel by sea or by ocean or by water. You pay attention to what you're going to actually travel. Now this was obviously the original masla. But I told you later on, our ulama now quantified it and they made it. So now it doesn't matter whether you're traveling by ocean or whether you're traveling by air or whether you're traveling by road. If you're going to cover this, if you made intention to travel 73 kilometers, you will become a musafir. Are you with me? So I hope you understood what they're saying in the Kitab. In the Kitab, is saying, look at what you're going to travel. Don't look at other routes. If there's a water route or whatever, you understood. So, فأما المعتبر في البحر فما يليق بحاله كما في الجبل. So if you are going to travel by ocean, فما يليق, then what is appropriate بحاله, what is condition, how much you will cover in that time, كما في الجبل, like how if you to travel by mountain, what you will cover in that time, or that traveling by mountain, what you will cover in 3 days. Again, I tell you, this is the original text, but our ulama have made it the latter day ulama, not even our ulama, but I mean just after this, after Imam Hanifa and him, they fix it at a fixed amount, and our ulama have changed that and have converted to our current quantum that we can identify with. So this is the original method, but as I said, we don't practice upon it like this. Light has been fixed, right? Okay, read the next ibarat.
ركعتان لا يزيد عليهم. وقال الشافعي فرض من أربع، والقصر رخصة اتباع من
Okay, the next discussion is a very, very important discussion. The next discussion is this here. We say that when you become a musafir, your 4 rakats will be 2 rakats. Do you have a choice in the matter? If you feel I'm a musafir, I still want to read 4 rakats, can you read the 4 rakats? Or do you have to read the 2 rakats? Do you have a choice of taking advantage of the permission granted by Shariat or not? So here, according to the Hanafi madhab, once you become a musafir, you have to read the 2 rakats. In fact, in the forthcoming text here, we'll discuss this here. If you not read the 2 rakats, can actually affect the validity of your salat, can actually affect. So you don't have a choice to say. So in the other madhahib, the Shafi madhab, the Maliki madhab, and the Hanbali madhab, you have a choice. You can say, no, I want to read 4. I'm feeling very pious today. I want to read my 4, even though I'm musafir, I want to read my full 4 rakats. So in the other madhab, you have a choice. In the Hanafi madhab, you don't have a choice. As I told you, the next text after this will show the implications of not reading the 2 rakats. So see there. وَفَرَضُ الْمُسَافِرِ فِي الرُّبَاعِيَّةِ رَكْعَتَانِ لَا يَزِيدُ عَلَيْهِمَا. The compulsion of a musafir في الرباعية. In the 4 rakats is rak'atani, it is 2 rakats. لا يزيد عليهما, he will not increase upon them. You can't. So you can't say, like I told you, now today I'm feeling pious. I don't want to read 2 rakats, I'm going to read 4 rakats, right? In وقال الشافعي, and I told you not only Imam Shafi'i, in fact Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal and Imam Malik, they say فرض الأربع. They say فرضه الأربع والقصر رخص. You see, originally the farz was 4 rakats, right? Right? والقصر رخصة. And now to read 2, it is a concession for you. So a concession is what rukhsah means, concession. Concession means if you want to do it, you can do it. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. So in other words, concession means it's like a leeway for you. No. If you feel you want to practice upon it, you can do it. If you don't want, you don't have to practice it. You understood that? That's what Imshab. Well, qasru rukhsatun. It's a concession for you. And I tell you, concession means if you want to do it, you can do it. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it, right? i'tibaran bisawmi. And Imam Shafi said this is similar to the matter of Sawm. What he's saying here, he's saying, look here, when you, the Quran say, فَمَنْ شَهِدَ مِنْكُمْ وَمِنْكُمْ مَنْ وَمَنْ وَإِنْ كُنْتُمْ عَلَى سَفَرٍ. No, not that verse. What did verse say? When you are traveling, then you can fast the other day. فَعِدَّةٌ مِنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرٍ. Was it? So if you are traveling, you qualify as a shar'i musafir, then you don't have to fast, then you can fast it another time. So as Imam Shafi says, see, yeah, when you are traveling, you don't have to fast. You don't have to fast. You can delay your fast for another time. So, right, so even though Shariat is giving you the concession of not fasting, if you fast, then your fast is still valid, right? You follow nice, I'm saying, Imam Shafi is saying, even though Shariat has given you the concession that if you don't want to take this concession, you want to fast in the month of Ramadan, like how many people do, even though they're traveling, they say, no, we'll fast finish because there's a blessed month and we want to get a barakah of the month. And also, I don't want to have qaza on my head. Now, get over and done with it, even though we're traveling. In fact, like maybe in previous time, traveling was very hard, we travel in the sun, there's no water, there's no drink. But nowadays, traveling is so easy. In fact, your fasting even goes easier, it goes quicker when you're traveling because you're not by the house, you're away from the kitchen, etc. So you say, no, I want to fast. So Imam Shafi saying, see, just follow nicely, like how despite the concession of not fasting in Ramadan, you can fast in the month of Ramadan and the fast is valid. So too, if you want to read your full 4 rakats, you can still read your full 4 rakats. You saw his reasoning. That was his reasoning, right? Then, actually, this discussion here in the Shara is discussed over 3 pages, 4 pages, but Sahib Hidayah is just brought it very, very briefly. What we say, see, walana, we say, look here now, anna shafa'atani. See the second 2 rakats, because remember your rukhsat in the 4 rakats. The second 2 rakats, la yuqadha. If you missed it, right, you just made 2 rakats in safar, right? Do you have to make qadha of that? No. But in fasting, do you have to make qadha of that? If you decide not to fast now, you have to fast at a later stage. So what does it show you? That the fasting and the 2 rakats is different, right? And secondly, وَلَا يَأْسَمُ عَلَى تَرْكِهِ. If you, like in fasting, if you decide not to fast now, you're going to fast at a later stage, but you pass away without fasting, you will be sinful. So but in your salat, if you don't read the 2 rakats now, or you never make Allah, will you be sinful? You won't be sinful. So that shows you that the maqis and the maqisa is not the same. You cannot compare the delaying of the fast in Ramadan to out of Ramadan to not reading 2 rakats, because in Ramadan you are allowed to delay it. It's not that it is completely waived off you. You are allowed to delay it. It is not completely waived off you. And in fasting, it's only delayed. So it's 2 different things. We are talking apples and pears. We're talking oranges and apples, right? So you cannot compare to say like how in Ramadan, despite you having the concession of not fasting, you can still fast. So same thing with the salah. That if you don't want to read 4 rakats now, I mean, sorry, if you don't want to read 2 rakats, you can read 4 rakats. It's two different things. It is two totally different things. Because and I showed you the differences here, right? So he's saying, وَهَذَا آيَةٌ نَافِلَةِ. The fact that there's no qada of it, and that you don't have to, you are not spending it. This is a ayat, this is a sign of something which is nafal, right? الخلاف الصومي. But contrary to fasting, لأنه لا يقضى, right? لأن الصوم لأنه لا يقضى. This is بخلاف is totally different to fasting because لأنه يقضى. If you look at your fast, you have to make a law of it. It's not like it's dropped off completely. You understood that? So as I told you that here, if I brought this very, very briefly, but in the Sharia, there's quite a few other proofs. Like Imam Shafi said, وَلَا جُنَاحَ عَلَيْكُمْ أَن تَقْصُرُوا مِنَ الصَّلَاةِ. There's no harm that you make the salah short, right? So we say, look, that shows you that there's no harm. That means if you make it long, there will be no problem also. You understand what I'm saying? So we got two answers. We say this here refer to Tifar start, like in the time of khawf, and you want to sit and read namaz, then you can sit or read. So it doesn't refer to this. Then also we give another one. You see, Allah Ta'ala says in the Quran, وَلَا جُنَاحَ عَلَيْكُمْ فَلَا جُنَاحَ عَلَيْهِمَا أَن يَطَّوَّفُوا بِهِمَا. They also Allah Ta'ala use the word junah, but it's compulsory to do your sa'i. So see, the junah also comes in the meaning of compulsory. The other proofs, but okay, we won't go into that. Anyway, the main thing, if you just understand from this text, if you just understand this much here, according to Hanafi Madhab, you don't have a choice. You have to read two rakats. According to Shafi Madhab, you can read two or four. And then Imam Shafi's proof that we said here, any proof that's mentioned in the Kitab is just here. If you got despite you having the concession of not fasting, you can still fast in the month of Ramadan. We say that is Qiyas al-Farik, that's different. Yeah, you can fast now because the fast hasn't been waived off you. You still have to read it at the other time. Yeah, the Surah Cast, if you leave it out, you don't have to read it again, isn't? So that shows you it is not dropped off. That has been dropped off completely. So when something has been dropped off completely, you don't have the choice of doing it if you want to do it. You saw the difference, right? Okay, so that was it. Now there's a very important masala. This is something very, very important, which is very relevant. Read the next text.
وقال في الثانية قدر التشهد أجزأته الأوليان عن الفرض والأخريان نافلة اعتبارا بالفرض وإلا بطلت ابتلاء النافلة بها قبل إكمال أركانها.
Yeah, so now, right, I think I understand that you don't have a choice. You don't have a choice of reading for whatever, right? You must read two or one. Now, see here. وَإِنْ صَلَّ أَرْبَعًا. Okay, before we come to another masala, I'll tell you this. If you're joining, a musafir is joining a muqim in salah, right? A musafir is joining a muqim. The imam is a muqim. Then obviously there, your salah will also become four rakats, right? There's no doubt with regard to that. We discussed several times. But now you're reading salah on your own. So maybe a lady, she became a musafir or whatever, right? So now she's reading by the house, or even a man, anybody, but he forgot. The Hanafi, he forgot, look here, I have to read two rakats. But in Salah Arba'an. So, but this person read four rakats, right, on his own. If he's following the Imam, then obviously that becomes four, that you know, right? So, وَقَعَدَ فِي الثَّانِيَةِ. But this person sat after the first two rakats. قدر التشهد, the amount of tashahud, أجزأت الأولى يعني عن الفرض. The first two rakats will be suffice as the farz of qasr. Why? I'll read first, let me explain again what happened. What happened, a person was a musafir, musafira, whatever, and they forgot the musafir, musafira, and they went and read four rakats. But as like how normally when you read your four rakats, they sat in the after the first two rakats. So here we'll say the namaz is done technically. Why? Because you've done what was compulsory upon you. And if you stood up after the tashahud, that two rakats will be nafal. That two rakats will be nafal. So even though it's a nafal, we'll say you delayed your salam from your first salat, but at least you completed all the fara'id of the qasr namaz. So your qasr namaz will be done, but you didn't do your salam only. What you never do your salam. So if after the 4 rakats you made salam, your namaz will be perfectly fine. First 2 rakats will be farz qasr, and second 2 will be nafil. Right? Are you following? You need to understand all the other usul we discussed before. I'll repeat it again. You are musafir, musafira. You forgot that you have to read for a 2 rakats namaz. So you went and you read 4 rakats namaz. But after the first 2 rakats, you made your tashahhud, which is normal. And in the second 2 rakats, you read, I'm a musafir, I'm supposed to read 2 rakats namaz. But then you made sajda sahu, you say your namaz is fine. What is that takyif, takmees means? How do we explain this thing? How do we rationalize it? We say the first 2 rakats is your qasr namaz. And also, remember we discussed this masala before. If you jump from a faraz without completing the faraz into a nafil, it affects the faraz. Remember we done this masala in detail before. If a person was reading 4 rakats namaz, after the 4th rakat, you never make the showed. You thought you still maybe you still got another 2 rakats, and you jumped up and you read another rakat and you made sajda. The moment you make sajda, we'll say your faraz is gone. Why? Because you never finish your first namaz, you never finish the tashahhud after the 4th rakat. So you ported over from a farz to a nafil before the farz was completed, so it affected the farz, right? So yeah, that's not the scenario. In fact, that scenario will come later. You know what you've done is you finish your farz namaz, you only left out the wajib, and it was to make salam, right? So we'll say your farz is done, alhamdulillah, and because you left, you delayed your salam till after the farz namaz, of the qasr namaz, till after the salam. So sorry, till after the nafil namaz. So you just have to do sajda saw to compensate. See now, وإن صلى أربعا, a person in 4 namaz, وقعد في الثانية, then he sat in the second rakat, قدر التشهد, the amount of tashahhud, أجزأته الأولى, يعني الفرض, the first 2 rakats will suffice as a farz, right? As I told you, because you done your farz. والأخرى يعني له نافلة, and the second 2 rakats will be a nafil, اعتبارا بالفجر, like how you read 2 fajr namaz, and then for fajr you read 2 rakats of fajr, and you made a mistake after the tashahhud, you read 2 rakats of namaz. We say the 2 farzes of fajr is done and the 2 will be nafil, right? ويصير مسيئا لتأخير السلام. So we'll say he made a mistake by delaying the salam till after he finished the nafil. So it was unintentional. So you'll compensate for that by making that such a sahur. Now look at the next one. I explained this. وَإِن لَمْ يَقْعُدْ فِي الثَّانِيَةِ, he decided to read 4 rakats, and he forgot that I have to read 4 rakats, but he did not sit after the 2 rakats. After the 2 rakats, he went up immediately, right? Right? So وَإِن لَمْ يَقْعُدْ فِي الثَّانِيَةِ قَدْرَهَا, the amount is domiciled for tashahhud, بطلت, his salat will become batil. In other words, the farziyat will become batil. Why? لِإِخْتِلَاطِ النَّافِلَةِ بِهَا قَبْلَ إِكْمَالِ أَرْكَانِهَا, because he mixed up his nafil namaz with the farz namaz before completing it. I explained you this masla in detail. Remember I told you the 6 rakats, after 4 rakats, you never sit and you made sajda for the 1st rakat. So that means when you made the sajda for the 1st rakat, it means you entered the nafil namaz, and then you entered the nafil namaz without completing your farz namaz. So all 4 will become nafil, and you add a 6th one, and all 6 will become nafil. So same thing here. If you never sit here, that means you have to complete before completing the fara'is of a of the farz namaz. Because remember the last tashahhud is farz, the last tashahhud is farz. So you never sit in your farz, so you jump from a. So even though if you sit after that, if you say, but okay, after 2 rakats, you sit, you done the tashahhud, you say yes, you just sit, but remember you by making sajda of the 3rd rakat, you jump from a farz to a nafil, and that affects the farz. So it becomes, the farziyat become batil. Yes, if you sit after that and you make tashahhud, you say, you make tashahhud and you make sajda, so we say all 4 will be nafil, but your farz will not be done. Is it quite clear? So if you understood it myself, the 6 rakats and the 5 rakats, then this is simple to understand, right? So قدر بطلت لاختلاط النافلة بها قبل إكمال أركانها. Okay, so the next masala is a new one, so we'll stop there, we'll continue with that. So just again to recap, according to us, you don't have a choice. You have to read 2 rakats, right? And we gave you the proofs there. We say that that this is a sadaqah from Allah Ta'ala that He's given you. You got no choice to reject it. Although the ibarat chain hidayah is a bit very mukhtasar. One of the reasons why we say you have to accept it was Nabi Sallallahu said, sadaqatun faqbaluha. There's a sadaqah from Allah Ta'ala, so accept it. So amr lil wujub. So you have to accept it. So you have to read 2 rakats. If you read 4 rakats, and intentionally, then obviously it's not correct. You say, I know I have to read 2 rakats, but I'm going to read 4 rakats. Then we know that is when you commit a leave out the wajib intention, the namaz have to repeat it, right? So there's the one. And the second one is this here. I told you, if you set after the 2 rakats, then you can just make the show, it'll be fine. But if you never set after the 2 rakats, the whole salat will become a nafil namaz if you made such a sahu after that, right? Okay, we'll stop there. We'll continue tomorrow, inshallah.